Hi, my name's Samuel Pankhurst. I'm from Brisbane and I play double bass. Today I'm going to talk about the harmonic series, particularly upper partials, the ones quite a way up, and how I use that in a few different projects, particularly a project I have called Yirinda with Fred Leone, who's one of the Bachelor songmen. So what's often happening with Yirinda is that Fred is singing these songs which have a very particular content and very particular sequence they have to happen in. And so what I am bringing to the table is kind of depicting landscape, animals, different things like this. So with birdsong, upper partials are fantastic. I mean, you've probably had the experience where you're out in nature somewhere and might be crepuscule, that time of day, and it's all the birds are out. There's a cacophony. In particular, many kinds of the same bird, what you tend to find is that they, I think because of the way their voice boxes work, or whatever the mechanism for different birds happens to be, you get these sort of like flowing through these upper partials just like effortlessly, but they might be starting at a different fundamental pitch, or they're changing the fundamental pitch. So you do get these really distinctly repeating patterns. And initially we tried to get this sort of stuff happening with just quarter tones. So I might do things like, you know, but it doesn't really feel anything like birds to me or to Fred, I don't think. So this works much better doing it like this. And I think the thing that makes it work is that you can rely upon those pitches repeating. I guess you can with quarter tones too, but there's something about the register that they're happening in. Bird call, it's not usually happening down in that kind of, almost like a vocal, human vocal range. It's way, way higher. So now that you've heard what these upper partials sound like, you can try to listen out for them in these long tones I'm about to play. I'm just going to play open strings, and I'm just going to move the bow progressively from the fingerboard down towards the bridge. The closer it gets to the bridge, you're going to get more harmonic kind of excitement. And as you're standing here playing it, it starts to sound pretty scrappy. But the payoff is, for the audience, it projects and it translates a hell of a lot better, especially with in ensembles too, particularly with double bass. You're often providing the fundamental to whatever else is going on harmonically in a piece of music with other people. So having a sound which is as easy to wrap your ear around as possible is very important. See how slow the bow is going now? So more pressure, less speed. Very, very slow. I'm not sure if it'll pick it up in the microphones, but it is not dissimilar to the sound of a didgeridoo in some ways. Like there's that harmonic activation. So as a string player, you often hear this idea of projecting and playing to the very back of the room so that everyone in the audience can hear what you're doing. Upper partials become very, very important with this proposition, because what you're trying to do really is add harmonic information onto the sound, really. You're trying to activate more harmonics so that basically more information, it's easier to wrap your ear around. It's all sorts of reasons, but that's what you're you're trying to do. So with the upper partials, they're a little more difficult to coax out of the string. It's much more specific where you need to place the bow for this to happen, and the pressure and the speed of the bow. On different basses that I've played, it's been different, so I don't want to try and make out as if there is a particular way of doing it, because you just have to try different things. But I'll show you what they sound like on this bass. Pretty different to those kind of lower range harmonics. Because they're fractions, you can of course find these all over the strings at different nodal points, but I find that the closer to the kind of middle division of the string, the better. And I find it better on this side rather than that side, because frankly you've just got something to you anchor your hand onto and get a bit of reference. So with the left hand, what I'm doing is sort of getting in between the nodal points of the sort of lower harmonics, like here, those ones. You want to sort of get around them, just in between them, and with the smallest part of your finger that you possibly can, because these are very fine nodal points. Like the harmonic just on the octave, on the first octave of a string, is very, very forgiving. You can almost be half a semitone, a quarter tone on either side of it, and it'll probably let you get away with it. But these ones, the upper partials are not like that at all. You really have to hit them bang on. Okay, so I'm going to sort of play a sort of repeating pattern on my left hand here and show you how that correlates to these upper partials. To get these upper partials to sort of speak nicely out of the instrument, you, in terms of the bowing, you want to be very close to the bridge, and you'll find out that even, you know, a difference of a centimetre or even a few millimetres in terms of the distance from the bridge will make different partials sort of jump out. And you want to have a fairly light pressure and bowing a little bit faster than you would usually. They take a fair bit of speed to get them to sort of zip out of the instrument. In terms of what's happening with the left hand, we're trying to get in between the cracks of the lower sort of harmonics in the series. So you've got these sort of ones. The easiest way I can describe it is you really just want to figure out where those are, and pretty much everywhere else there's going to be some kind of exciting upper partial, and then you've just got to figure out exactly where the bow is going to be to make that work. Something which is a little unexpected, which I love about these upper partials, is that because there is so much going on in terms of variables like it's, you know, where's the bow, how fast is the bow going, how much pressure, where exactly is your finger, how much of your finger's on the string, all of this. They are inherently a little bit unwieldy and unpredictable. So sometimes where you're putting your fingers on the strings, you may feel like you should be having a sort of some sort of like pitch movement which is going in some direction, but it goes all over the place because again, it's not like sort of up the string like that. It's fractions of the string, so it just depends what fraction of the string you're hitting. I've seen people write all sorts of very detailed systems of getting particular harmonics to speak, but what I found from performing different composers' works that call for this kind of stuff is that it really just depends on the instrument. I wouldn't beat yourself up if you're trying to follow someone's super specific advice and it's not coming out. You just need to try something else.